The last train to Rosewood. Once upon a time, in a quiet little town called Rosewood, surrounded by green hills and golden fields, there lived a young man named Ethan Miller. Ethan was 28 years old, tall, kind-hearted, and hard-working. He had brown hair, gentle blue eyes, and a quiet personality. He worked as a carpenter and spent most of his evenings in his small workshop, building furniture for the people of Rosewood. Although Ethan had a peaceful life, there was one thing missing from it: love. He had almost stopped believing that he would ever meet someone who could truly understand his heart. Then, one rainy autumn evening, everything changed. Ethan was standing at the town's small railway station, waiting for the last train home. The station was almost empty. Rain fell heavily against the windows, while the old clock on the wall ticked toward 9. Then he saw her. A young woman stood near the ticket counter, struggling with 2 heavy suitcases. Her name was Clara Wilson. Clara was 26, with long blonde hair, green eyes, and a warm smile that seemed strangely bright against the gloomy evening. She had just returned to Rosewood after spending several years in the city. As she tried to lift one of her suitcases, it slipped from her hand. Ethan quickly stepped forward. "Let me help you," he said. Clara looked at him and smiled. "Thank you. I was beginning to think these bags were stronger than me." Ethan laughed. "I think they're just trying to keep you in the station." Clara laughed too. Neither of them knew it then, but that simple conversation was the beginning of a love story that would change both their lives. Their first walk. The rain continued when the train arrived, but Clara discovered that her car had already left for the night. "I suppose I'll have to walk," she said. Ethan looked outside. "In this rain?" Clara shrugged. "I've survived worse." Ethan smiled. "Then at least let me walk with you." They walked through the wet streets together beneath Ethan's old black umbrella. They talked about everything. Clara told him that she had returned to Rosewood to take care of her grandmother's old house. Ethan told her about his workshop and his dream of someday opening a larger furniture business. When they reached Clara's house, she turned toward him. "Thank you, Ethan." "You're welcome." She smiled. "I hope I see you again." Ethan smiled back. "I hope so too." A love begins. The next morning, Ethan found himself thinking about Clara. He tried to concentrate on his work, but every time he picked up a piece of wood, he remembered her smile. That afternoon, someone knocked on his workshop door. It was Clara. "I heard you're the best carpenter in town," she said. Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Who told you that?" "My grandmother." "And what do you need?" Clara pointed toward an old wooden chair. "This belonged to my grandfather. I'd like you to repair it." Ethan examined the chair. "I can fix it." "How much?" He smiled. "For you? Nothing." Clara shook her head. "No, I don't accept free work." "Then buy me coffee." She smiled. "Deal." That coffee became the first of many. The winter promise weeks became months. Ethan and Clara became inseparable. They walked through the town together, shared meals, laughed over silly things, and spent long evenings talking about their dreams. One snowy evening, they stood beside the frozen lake. Clara looked at Ethan. "Do you ever wonder where life is taking you?" "All the time." "And where do you think it's taking you?" Ethan looked into her eyes. "Somewhere with you." Clara's eyes filled with tears. "Ethan." He gently took her hand. "I don't know what tomorrow will bring, Clara, but I know I don't want to face it without you." She rested her head against his shoulder. "Then promise me something." "What?" "Whatever happens, don't give up on us." Ethan squeezed her hand. "I promise." The separation. But life tested their promise. A few months later, Clara received an opportunity to work in another city. It was the kind of job she had dreamed about for years, but accepting it meant leaving Rosewood. She was afraid to tell Ethan. When she finally did, he was silent. "You should go," he finally said. Clara looked at him sadly. "Are you angry?" "No." "Then why do you look so sad?" "Because I love you." Clara began to cry. "And I love you too." They hugged tightly. Neither wanted to let go. Love across the distance. Clara moved away. The distance was difficult. They called each other every night. Ethan sent her photographs of Rosewood. Clara sent him pictures of the city. They missed each other terribly. Sometimes they argued. Sometimes they wondered whether the distance was too much. But they remembered their promise. Don't give up on us. After almost a year apart, Ethan received a letter from Clara. Dear Ethan, I have learned something while being away from you. A beautiful life means nothing if you don't have the person you want to share it with. I want to come home, not because Rosewood is perfect, but because you are there. Ethan read the letter several times. Then he smiled. The last train. The following Friday evening, Ethan went to the railway station. He didn't know exactly why. Perhaps his heart already knew. At 8:55 p.m., the train arrived. Passengers began stepping onto the platform. Then Ethan saw her. Clara. She stood there with one suitcase, smiling through tears. Ethan ran toward her. Clara dropped her suitcase. They embraced. I missed you, she whispered. I missed you more. She laughed through her tears. I don't think that's possible. Ethan held her face gently. Are you staying? Clara smiled. I'm home. Forever. 1 year later, Ethan and Clara were married in a small ceremony beside the same lake where they had made their promise. Their families and friends gathered around them. After the ceremony, Ethan whispered, Do you remember the night we first met? Clara smiled. The rain? Yes. And the umbrella? Yes. I remember. Ethan kissed her forehead. Funny how one rainy night changed everything. Clara looked into his eyes. No, Ethan, you changed everything. Years passed. They built a beautiful home together. Ethan opened his furniture business. Clara started her own design company. They had children, traveled, laughed, argued, forgave each other, and grew old together. And whenever someone asked Clara what she believed was the secret to their love, she always gave the same answer. Real love isn't about finding someone whose life is perfect. It's about finding someone whose heart feels like home. And Ethan would always add, and sometimes you meet that person while waiting for the last train. The end. If you enjoyed this beautiful love story, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more emotional and romantic stories.